Today we're talking about The Princess Bride, the adventure book game.
That's inconceivable!
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Oh wait, my name is Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp. The Princess Bride, the adventure book game is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. It's designed by Ryan Miller and published by Ravensburger.
They sent us this copy to review. Let's look what's inside the box. There are miniatures for the main characters, several types of cards, lots of tokens, a rulebook, and the game board is actually a book with different scenarios.
You'll be playing through the story of The Princess Bride, 1 chapter at a time. There are 6 chapters in the game, and each one takes about 15 minutes to play, so it'll be about an hour and a half for a full game.
If you complete all 6 chapters, you win, but you lose if you get interrupted twice. Getting interrupted is basically failing to complete an objective in a chapter.
So each chapter has its own objective and setup and rules. The rulebook tells you which miniatures and tokens you'll need for the chapter and where to place them on the board. The board itself gives you the special rules for the chapter, what happens when you draw certain plot cards, and the different challenges you need to complete to finish the chapter.
Challenges have a requirement. Usually certain characters need to be in certain spots, and the active player needs to discard cards with the indicated icons. Then you get a reward.
Even though each chapter is different, the basic turn structure is the same, so you'll be going through 5 steps on your turn. First, you can move 1 character up to 2 spaces, or 2 characters 1 space each.
Then you move to the storytelling step. You have several actions you can perform in any order, and most of these actions you can do multiple times. You can discard cards to move characters, 1 move per card. You can trade a card in your hand with a card from another player. You can complete challenges if you meet the requirements, but you can do this only once on your turn. You can use a miracle token to draw 3 cards from the story deck or 1 card from the special deck. You or any player can play a special card.
After you've taken all of your actions, you go to step 3, which is draw 2 story cards, and then step 4, which is reveal the top card of the plot deck. Plot cards are numbered 1 through 20. You'll look at the plot table to see what happens. For chapter 1, when you reveal 1 through 15, you place a chore token on the matching numbered space.
The final step of your turn is to discard down to 6 cards if you have more than that in your hand.
So you'll continue playing and taking turns until you complete all of the challenges for the chapter, or until you get interrupted by the grandson. He's going to interrupt you if the plot card deck runs out, or if certain things happen in the scenario.
The first time you get interrupted, you just reset the chapter and try it again. The second time you get interrupted during a game there, then you just lose it.
It's done. The 6 chapters take you through the story of The Princess Bride. Chapter 1 is As You Wish. It involves Wesley doing chores, Wesley and Buttercup realizing they're in love, true love, and Wesley heading off to seek his fortune.
Chapter 2 is Escape by Sea. There's shrieking eels, a mystery ship, and of course, some rhyming. Anybody want a peanut?
In Chapter 3, Wesley climbs the cliffs of insanity and faces off with Inigo, Fezzik, and Vincini.
Chapter 4 is the Fire Swamp, of course. Can you survive the fire spurts, lightning sand, and ROUSs?
If you do, it'll take a miracle to complete Chapter 5. You need to see Miracle Max and get in the castle before the Mawaj takes place.
Which leads to Chapter 6. Have fun storming the castle. It's simple. Inigo needs to introduce himself to Count Rugen and get some revenge. Wesley needs to get Humperdinck to drop a sword, and Fezzik needs to find some horses.
And this game is dripping with theme. I mean, not only are you playing through the plot of the movie, but there are quotes in the adventure book and on the special cards. Are you in the mood for a nice MLT?
Where the mutton is nice and lean. We spent most of the game quoting lines and laughing at the different situations. I think if you are a fan, you really are going to love this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in it. If you're not a fan of The Princess Bride, I'm not sure if you're going to enjoy it quite as much.
We found certain chapters to be a little bit easier to play and some a little bit harder. If you need certain cards to complete an objective and you don't draw those cards, then it can really stall your progress.
Right. Player count can also affect the difficulty level. I actually think that it can be easier with more players because you have more cards in player hands around the table, and there's a greater chance that someone will have the card you need and can trade it with you.
The difficulty level could really be affected by a given chapter by the plot cards you draw too. Usually, the higher numbers do really bad things. You could pull cards that could make your game end quickly.
The adventure book concept is pretty interesting. Even though it takes you through the same story each time and the chapter objectives will be the same, the game is still replayable because a lot is going to change depending on the variable setup for some of the chapters, which cards you draw, and even which plot cards you reveal. So your strategy is going to be a little different each game.
I agree. This is a family weight game. I think families will love it if they love Princess Bride. It's not too complex. There is a little bit of reading on the special cards, but the other cards are just colors and numbers.
Yeah, I enjoyed my play of the game. And being a Princess Bride fan, I really appreciated the theme. But personally, I probably am not going to play it again just because I'm not a huge fan of this style of cooperative game. I prefer games that have a mystery to them, something like Mansions of Madness or the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective or Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth, where your progression through an actual story and the app is leading you along. So for me, I enjoyed it as a Princess Bride fan, but maybe not the top of my list of co-ops.
I think you will enjoy it if you really like co-op games. I probably like co-op games a little bit more than Melissa, and I think this game will be a winner if you like co-op games plus for the Princess Bride theme. So, check it out from Ravensburger, the Princess Bride adventure book game, and as always, please like this video and subscribe to Tantrum House. Never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line. Look at my cool shirt, thematic.
The Inconceivables.